Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys Podcast, brought to you by ShortTrackExclusives.com. I'm your host, Thomas Faddis, alongside two of the same short track guys in the studio as always. Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07 Can'tQuitFishing.com sportsman and 2021 sportsman champion, and Ted Baber Video Productions. What's up, guys?
Yo.
What's up?
Ready to rock. Yeah, we've cleaned up a little bit from last episode, but we've got a huge slate in the next month here in March, being the 1st of March. Springtime is coming. Racing is in full swing, and we're going to, before we get into that, we're going to get this weekend, next weekend, and the weekend after that. I mean, just big time stuff. So, I mean, what about this past weekend? We get the sportsman updates really coming, getting ready for the season, but let's talk about this Sweat Hog race here locally here at Five Flag Speedway this past weekend.
Oh, it's a blast. I wish I would have entered. I had a car and I sold it and got more money out of it than I had in it. So, it's a money thing. But the Sweat Hog Grand Prix is really fun. They had the 12 cars initially signed in. I think 29 started. And that's a whole lot of cars. And they make a road course. You go down the front straight at Five Flags, you turn into the quarter mile, you run the little quarter mile infield, make another right turn, go down a little hill, come back to your right, and then make a quick left, then another quick left, and you're on the front stretch again. It's a road course, and it's 4-cylinder front-wheel drive, bone stock, no modifications, and the same guy, he's won like the majority of them in the 84 car. What's his name?
They're going to impound
Ricky Johnson.
Ricky Johnson. Yeah, he used to race with us in Sportsman years ago. He's got an Acura that's just incredibly fast, and Heath Ostracker runs second, and Heath's no slouch in 4-cylinder cars. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's a pretty good show, but it's really fun to watch these guys go out and go hard as they can go, and then they blow up or pop a tire or just do silly stuff. I mean, just overdrive a car and blow the motor all to pieces.
He said that right front is really worked out when it goes that first turn. Oh, Lord. Well, it's rough.
Well, you drive in there so hard, but I mean, I learned when I did it, a manual transmission is the way to go. If you're going to do a road course, don't do an automatic if you can help it. But I would downshift into second gear, let the clutch out, let the car slow down, and I would run second gear through the whole infield.
Yeah.
And I could outrun Ricky Johnson through the infield, but that dadgum Acura, son, once you got on that front straightaway, he was gone. He was 4 car lengths by the time you got into third gear. I mean, he was gone. He just kept rolling.
Well, we're talking about Five Flag Speedway, and it is a half mile on the outside groove. It's a little shorter, a little smaller half mile than, say, Mobile. Right. But for the road course here in the Sweat Hog and your sportsman speeds, as far as the time goes, what kind of comparison can our listeners kind of adapt to?
Well, I don't know about lap times. I don't even know what a lap time for the Sweat Hog is, but the speeds, we go down the front straightaway, and that little Cavalier I had, I was getting 80, 85 miles an hour, and a little bone stock, no roll cage, kind of scared me the first time I looked. I'm like, whoa,
Yikes.
I could get all the way to 5th gear if I wanted to. I mean, that's crazy, but it's a fun little race. I know Tim Bryant said something about that. They don't make any money really off of that race. They just love doing it because they love it's a fun little deal, and it brings people out early. Kind of gets people excited, and I think they should have it. Continue with it. Yeah. In my opinion, let V6 front wheel drives run, but have 2 separate classes. You know what I'm saying? You have the 4-cylinder front wheel drive class and the V6 front wheel drive class. Run them for 2 hours instead of an hour and a half.
Right.
And then we'll see who lasts. Because an hour and a half is close. They blow some stuff up. So, I mean, it's a neat race. And they have one in Montgomery, the similar enduro type race. But Montgomery has a jump. So it's called like a joker lap. You have to hit it at least once or twice. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting to watch somebody go, bonsai! Gotta be careful, though. But, I mean, it's races like that are fun, and they should have more of them, I think. My personal opinion. Have at least 2 a year.
No, I do have to make a clarification from last week. I was thinking 1 to 2:30 was 2.5 hours, and I don't know why I said that. And if anybody that listened to the last episode knows that, an hour and a half is 90 minutes and not 2.5 hours. I do apologize. My math was not really on, but yeah, it was 145 laps, I think, before the time limit, and Ricky Johnson ended up winning.
Yep, that's crazy. And then that's turning left and right. That's not just going out there and going around in circles. So it's definitely different and a lot of fun. And I encourage everybody to build a car. Ben Cranford and I have already talked about building a couple of them for next year. I said, dude, we need to. That's just, I said, if we don't go out and just beat on each other and have fun, you know what I mean? That would be cool just to spin each other out every once in a while and have a little fun with each other. I mean, if we win it, great. If we don't, we had a great time. That's to me, the $100 invested entry fee and the few tires you have to buy and stuff like that is worth every penny.
Well, we got a congratulations to Ricky Johnson and that Sweat Hog victory. 29 cars, an hour and a half, 90-minute time limit, 145 laps, I think, was recorded. Heath Ostriker, Brian Lane, Josh Berger, and Ricky Grimes ended up the top 5. Billy Hoover and Joe Rutherford and Sarah Doherty were in that race, too. Right. And they were back a little bit further in the pack, but, I'm sure they had a good time. And there's a lot of experience in those 3 drivers, too.
Yeah, definitely. And to bring up a sore subject, I hate to bring this up, but after the Sweat Hog, but my buddy in New Smyrna, Paul Coach, he got tossed.
Ouch.
I found out that he had his tires did not pass the compound test. So I don't know what went on with that. He claims they weren't soaked, but something was there because it did not pass the test. So he got tossed.
Didn't pass the sniff test.
Didn't pass the sniff test. Yeah, I mean there's all kinds of stuff you can put on tires. I'm real mindful at the shop when my tires are sitting around that nobody sprays anything on them accidentally, like, some brake clean, because it don't take much, to change the chemical compound. I mean, brake clean will evaporate, stuff like that evaporates, but tire soak, it's kind of hard not to, because that's why they dig a big chunk. They don't do a surface. They got a little scoop thing. It goes down in there all the way to the cords and pulls that chunk out of that tire.
Yeah. I'd love to see them just take that completely out, because if you're going to do it, let them all do it. But then how much of the driver and how much of the car do you put back into that, knowing that you've got an assistant? A crew chief is one thing, but if you're altering the performance of the car, how much does that show you as a talented driver?
Well, it doesn't, but tire soak back in the day, the reason why that first happened, just to our listeners that don't know anything about tire soak, the reason why that was developed was to let guys like me who didn't have money to buy new tires soak a used set of tires so they would run with a new set of tires. But see, when the guys buy new tires, then they soak them. Then they're faster than the guys with the old tires that are soaked. So it's almost impossible to control, because what's to take a guy to go out and buy a set of tires and put a grinder to them and then soak them and say, oh, I ran 5 laps on these. They had a heat cycle in them before I soaked them or whatever. You don't know.
Yeah. That soaked tire does go away. I mean, it's not something you're going to treat, which is what they're talking about. Soaking tires is a treatment, but you can't sit there and run them without it going away at some point.
They do actually have tire soak that makes the tire last longer and stay cooler, which means you get more grip throughout the entire heat cycle of the race. There's different kinds. There's the kinds that just soften the crap out of it for qualifying. So you go out there and just you roll down pit road and leaves black marks every time the tires roll over. It's like and they're only good for about 5 or 6 laps. Because I remember back in the day when Bobby Gill and all them used to soak, when Rich Bickle was winning all of his derbies, he wouldn't soak, but he always qualified like 7th or 8th, never up near front. But 25 or 30 laps into the race, he was leading.
Because their tires were gone.
And if it was a long green flag run, say, 75, 100 laps, he was putting some of those guys a lap down because their tires were gone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's different types of tire soak. There's kinds that they claim they're indetectable, but that's impossible if you alter the chemical compound of the tire. When they test it in a lab, they're going to catch it.
Well, you either do it or you don't, or you find that area in between, which is that gray area, to get away with it. And
well, there is no gray area on that deal. It's either you got it in there or you don't.
Well, they make compounds that are odorless, but
it doesn't matter.
Tricky.
It's not the odor. See, it used to be they didn't send them off for tire samples. They just run a sniffer across it, and then they would check with a durometer, see how soft they are. If they're softer than what they're supposed to be, you got thrown out. But the undetectable stuff, the sniffers won't touch, and it hardens quickly, so you won't see it with a durometer. But as far as the chemical compound, you're going to get caught. If they take a scoop out of that tire, Hoosier Tire knows what the chemical compound of a stock Hoosier tire is supposed to be and what's been altered. Yep. And that's how you get caught. I don't agree with tire soak because, one, it's dangerous. The chemicals in that stuff are very bad for your lungs. And I mean, I don't know how many nights we sit in Todd Mabry's garage before the Snowball Derby, and he'd have his rotisserie set up, and you'd bring your soak in, hand him a $20 bill, put your tires on, soak the crap out of them. We'd be standing around a heater in this enclosed garage. Could have blew each other up. Sucking fumes, drinking beer, watching tires rotate around, and then we'd pull them off and wrap them in cellophane or saran wrap. And then we'd take them out the day of the Derby and unwrap them and go race on them. And I mean, the stuff I used is called Mr. Bird's HMS, which stands for homemade beep. And he's from down around New Smyrna. And they used to have a rule, no tire soaking, but all those tires would leave and go to his house, and he would soak a set, and he'd just let it go. But right. It's just the chemical compound stuff's dangerous. It causes cancer, and that's why most racetracks don't want it. Well,
I can assure you that none of those Sweat Hog cars that were in that race that, they were not playing that game. So, no. Congratulations again, Ricky Johnson, on your win, again. We look forward to another stellar, Sweat Hog race next year at Five Flag Speedway. We've got 3 weeks in a row coming up with big time races and a lot of big names coming in from across this country.
Absolutely. It's going to be awesome. Starting with Alabama 200 this weekend.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Alabama 200 at Montgomery Motor Speedway. Saturday night on the 4th, it's the Hunt for the Bear. Seth Christensen is actually in the 35 car running for Jake Garcia. Ooh. I just found that out just not too long ago. But the list, I think Augie Grill's going to go up there for another bear. I think he has 5 of them under his belt. What a big event to start off this 3 weeks in a row that we've got. We're going to keep talking about it here in the next 3 or 4 weeks, but man,
can be huge.
Alabama 200, and then the next weekend is when Jim gets started with that Sportsman
on Friday night.
Yep, and the National Stars Tour the same weekend on the 11th. So
that's going to be
let's
exciting.
Get into that one. I think Ted's got a little list of some of that big time entries that's coming in.
In the interest of time, we'll just do last names only. But just let me know if you've heard of any of these guys. I mean, they're all strangers, right?
Yeah, we'll try.
We don't know anybody. All right. Bilderback, Boone, Thorne, Elrod, Kraus, Nason, Hocevar, Summers, Gomes, Roderick, Robbins, Ruggiero, Van Meter, Pollard, Butcher, Watson, Enfinger, Francis, Smith, Doss, Stroop, Peltier, Nolan, Massey, Finch. Who else we got here? One or two more. Woohoo.
Sounds like a group of slackers to me. I mean, that's pathetic.
Never heard of any of those guys.
No, my goodness. I thought we were going to have a good field of late models. Jeez.
Haven't heard Pollard yet.
Yeah, he said Pollard. He said Pollard.
I did say that.
That's about the only one,
only guy.
The rest of them guys,
Jones, Hine, Moore, Majeski, and Roca. I mean, who these guys? Who do they think they are?
Yeah, it looks like there's 32 or so supers that are coming with the ASA Stars National Tour here. Their first race of the year at Five Flag Speedway, and man, starting with the Sportsman, Jim, just kind of touch on what's going on, getting ready for that Friday night for that weekend.
No, just getting some wheels tomorrow, getting some tires dismounted so we can get our practice tires mounted because they changed offsets on us this year. We had to run 3s last year. This year we get to run 2-inch offset, which makes the car wider. So you got to have them. So I got some rims I got to put on. Got to replace brake calipers, and I ran New Smyrna. I burnt the front brakes up. So I've got 2 new calipers and 2 new set of brake pads coming this week. So we got to get that done. Just gonna, get the car on the lift, nut and bolt it, make sure it's ready to go next Saturday, and we should be pretty fast. I don't see why we're not. I'll put new tires on that bad boy thanks to All Pools and Emerald Coast Remodeling and Trim and Can'tQuitFishing.com. We'll have new skinnies on the car, and we're just gonna go out there and drop the green flag and see what happens.
Let her eat.
Yeah, and I hate to be this way, but I mean, for our listeners, when you say new skinnies, what do you mean?
New tires.
New tires.
New set of tires.
Yeah.
Or
stickers.
Stickers. And Ben Cranford's not going to get to race. He's going to be out of town, but I'm not sure if Mike Gorman is going to bring the 343 out. Maybe. Ooh. And I want to give a shout out to my new spotter, Zach Morris. I'm sorry. And I should remember his name because Saved by the Bell. He said he's been picked on a lot for having the name Zachary Morris. But he's going to spot for me. As everybody knows, my crew chief, Frank, retired. His eyesight's getting bad, and he just felt that it was time. He's going to be out there with us. And I'd like to ask for prayers for my good old buddy Martin, my crew chief. He's going into back surgery tomorrow morning to cure some back problems that he has, and I hope he gets better. He claims he's going to be at the track Saturday night, Friday night. We'll see. I hope he does, but he's not doing anything. If I have to duct tape him into the chair, he's going to stay because he's not going to get up and help. Sit and hush.
Yeah, just a little valve adjustment.
Yeah, I mean, and listen,
he'll be all right. He's a tough dude.
Yeah. Oh, he's one of the toughest men I know, and for him to be down for 3 weeks is not like Martin whatsoever. So
he's going to be making up for lost time when he gets out there.
Yeah, but he'll feel so much better when he get done with his back surgery. I guarantee they will. So I just want to give a shout out to him and throw some prayers his direction because he's going to need it.
Well, I mean, what do we look for in this this National ASA Stars Tour coming up? There's this first race, the inaugural race here at Five Flag Speedway with 32 of the, stars basically nationally. What do we expect?
Great racing and carnage.
There's going to be
at the same time.
Yes. There's going to be some hurt fields and some torp equipment, but I'm hoping that 26 car will be on top when it's over with. Yep. But he's had some great runs so far this year. He's won one of them, but man, he's had some of them out in California. He was in the top 5. Down there in New Smyrna, he's leading in the damn hood. The fender brace goes underneath the left front tire and causes the car to have to come down pit road and fix it. He comes back to finish 11th. So we're Pollard fans. We're going to be pulling for him. But, my God, the quality of late models that's coming. I'm interested to see what Derek Thorne does in Paulie Schaefer's car because Paulie Schaefer doesn't usually run very well at Five Flags. He does okay. He makes the races. But if he wins, I think Paulie Schaefer ought to retire and just hire Derek Thorne to drive his stuff. Yeah. No offense, Paulie. I don't mean anything by it.
Yeah, it's all smiles, Paulie Schaefer.
He's a great driver. He's won a bunch of races. But, man, to sit out this one and put Derek Thorne in there, he's got something he's thinking about.
He's got an idea that's going to work out well. I believe it will.
Well, you got Jeremy Doss, you got Jesse Love, you got Derek Thorne coming from the Spears Tour out there in California on the West Coast. You got Ty Majeski, Jacob Gomes,
Hunter Robbins.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the ARCA Midwest Tour that's coming down here. The Truck Series, Carson Hocevar with the Truck Series. Those 3 guys coming in. It's what I think that's what they expected.
Yeah.
I think it's an invasion of all the super late models in the country and putting one series together and make a national tour. And you're seeing the interest and the entries of what's going on. And I can't wait to talk about this one.
Well, what I like about it is the fact that it lets you run your normal series. The CRA guys are going to get to run CRA. The Southern Super Series guys, which Southern Super Series is now under the ASA banner also, get to run there for their championship. The Midwest guys get to run for their stuff. And then it all converges. You win that championship or the National Late Model Series champion. You got a chance of winning 2 of the biggest late model series. And Bubba's running 3 of them. He's running the SRL, the Southern Super Series, and he's running for the Stars Championship. So that's going to be interesting because he's going to be at Op running the Rattler.
Yeah, he's going to be busy. He's trying to get all that taken care of.
Yeah, going to keep us busy.
This whole asphalt late model series is going to be this year is going to be a barn burner the whole season.
Be a lot to stay on top of, and I assure you, there's 3 short track guys in this studio right now who will be on top of.
We'll do the best we can with what God gave us.
Absolutely.
There's going to be a lot to talk about. You'll just stay tuned.
Okay? Yeah. What do they say at the racetrack? Pull those belts tight one more time.
That's right. Pull them down.
Yeah. We got it coming to you.
Yeah. What was it? The front end front, rear end rear, dirty side down, clean side up, and driver in the middle. I heard somebody used to go through that whole thing.
Yeah, that pretty much takes you around.
Yeah, that's all the sides that you have.
Yeah, well, that's the Alabama 200 coming up this weekend. We got the ASA Stars National Tour the following weekend, and the Rattler 250 weekend the following weekend. And then the weekend after that is the ARCA Pensacola 200. This is the races we were talking about. 4 in a row is coming up. As far as the entry list coming up at that Alabama 200 in Montgomery, there's some big names in that one, too.
It's pretty good. Yeah. And since these are, not as familiar, we'll go first and last names. How about that? That'd be great. Spencer Bragg, Gage Rogers, John Boland, we know him from in the Montgomery area.
Yep.
Stacy Crane, JoJo Wilkinson, Bryson Schaefer, Christopher Tullis, Chris Davidson, Chase Johnson, Dawson Sutton, Dustin Smith, Seth Christensen. We've talked about him quite a bit before.
Yep.
Johnny Aramandia, who we know from the modified ranks quite a bit. Zach Dixon, Frankie Martin, Gavin Graham, very familiar with that name.
Yeah, we know who he is. Took a flyer down there in New Smyrna.
Stephen Chun, Boston Oliver, Dylan Fetcho, Chase Spradlin, Jim Wall, some guy named Augie Grill. I think I've heard him once or twice.
I think I heard you.
I'm familiar.
Two-time Snowball Derby winner.
And Zach Johnson. And that's it.
Yeah, that's, this is the Alabama 200.
Yes.
I mean, this has been going on for a long time, and the likes of, the Allisons and
Bonnet.
all that, Bonnets, they've been there. That Augie Grill, Gavin Graham, Seth Christensen now driving with the Jake Garcia stable, I guess is in his car. Dawson Sutton, we mentioned before. Chris Davidson, we've mentioned quite a bit from Texas.
Pro late champion twice.
Man, these names are just along the lines of some of the greats that we've been talking about through our starting Short Track Guys podcast. And I expect a really, really good race Saturday night in Montgomery.
Always is a great show up there. Man, what's his name puts on a great show. And Stan Harrison does a great job at that place, keeping it up and running. And he's, he puts a good crowd in. And like I said, it's going to be a barn burner with Augie. Dylan Fetcho's no slouch. Nope. Track champion at Five Flag Speedway in the Pro Late Models this year.
John Bowen's thoroughly familiar with that track.
So. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's somebody that's making on the comeback trail. He's been back for a few years, doing pretty good. And mention that ARCA race. I'll tell you something cool with that. A guy that crews for me at Snowball Derby and comes out named Neil Shearer. His brother races ARCA, and he's coming down and bringing an ARCA car, and I get to be on the crew. So that's going to be cool. I'm going to be on a NASCAR pit crew. First time ever. Woo-woo. Yeah. So thank you to him and his brother for allowing that to happen. So that's going to be cool.
He'd be in charge of the 10mm sockets.
Might be. I might be. You never know. Hey, as long as I get to wear that NASCAR stuff, I'm good. I want a hat. If I get a hat and a shirt out of the deal, I'm good.
Yeah.
I ain't got to pay my pit pass.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome event. We got our friends and the racing families / sponsors help, whatever you want to call it. They've been a huge help and a great family of ours from Houma, Louisiana. Jackie and Mark Richard, they're coming over from Houma, and they're going to be here on that weekend. And I look forward to that.
I hope Jackie brings some crawfish with him. He made shrimp last time, but man, that man's a chef. And when he says he's cooking, you going.
Yeah, Jackie's Jambalaya. Look that up. Oh, man. Houma, Louisiana. Mark McCharge, he's kind of like taking a back seat. He's gotten out of it. He's just enjoying life. And
he's just drinking beer and having a good time. That's what Mark does.
I'm so happy for him. And, man, it goes back 15 years plus. When I can start with him and our relationship. And Mark and Jackie, we can't wait to see you and look forward to that weekend.
Yep, going to be awesome. Going to be fun.
Well, there's a couple of congratulations and some shout-outs. We talked about it, and we want to dabble a little bit more in the dirt section, and we try to kind of touch on that here and there. Terry McCarl from Altoona, Iowa. We mentioned him last Wednesday as coming into Southern Raceway, which was basically 20 minutes down the road. Swept the weekend at Southern Raceway in that wing sprint car at that 3/8 dirt mile track. And congratulations to Terry McCarl, because he's a veteran and he's still getting it done.
Yep.
A World of Outlaws champion also. So that dude gets it done. That's cool for him to come down here and on that sandy old crappy racetrack and put a whoop. I'm not saying that the track surface wasn't smooth, but that track is so sandy. Yeah. And for him to figure out how to hook that car up like that, and then first time being here, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's that, and there's another one down at Citrus County, down at Inverness in Florida, Jared Irvin, which we know a little bit about. Got some pedigree. Yep. Congratulations to him winning that super late model race down there at Inverness, and it just I can't wait for the next couple of weeks. This is just too excited for me.
That young man's pretty good, and it's funny if you look at him, ain't no denying who his daddy is. He looks just like a young Ernie Irvin. Yeah, for sure. For sure, they're in the family. Yeah. Congratulations to him, though. That's cool to see a second generation driver get it done.
Right.
Actually, third generation. Vic Irvin, his dad used to race. Ernie's dad. He built pit boxes in North Carolina for a long time. So that's pretty awesome. We like to see that second generation guys get it done.
Yeah.
Second or third.
He's third generation. I'm sorry. Yes, he is.
Well, we got 4 races in a row. We've got maybe not one of them yet knocked out. We will get to it next Wednesday. We caught up on some of the stuff we talked about last Wednesday. We're caught up, and I don't know.
Well, we've done a lot of previewing.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we'll be doing a lot of reviewing.
Reviewing, yes. Recaps, reviewing.
That's it.
It's coming, for sure.
Well, hopefully Friday night I'll be able to come back in here with a trophy. 'Cause I hadn't won one in a while. It's getting embarrassing. It's time to get on the wheel and get it done.
Well, it's going to be the first opportunity we take a picture in the studio and have that posted.
Well, I mean that, and I'm going to, if the 343 doesn't sell, I'm going to do a few pure stock races this year in the 343. And also, if you don't know this, that Crown Vic class, anybody can drive. Nick, I can drive a Crown Vic. And there may come a night I may talk Tim Bryan and loan me one of those ones he's got and go out there and see what I can do in a old Crown Victoria. I think that would be a blast.
Rent a racer.
Oh, dude, can you imagine running all three classes in one night? How awesome that would be.
How wore out you'd be by the end.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever been done before.
Oh, yes, I'm sure it has.
You think so?
I think it has in the past.
All right, well, we'll look forward to hearing the results of that next week.
If it happens. But I'm going to run my class, my car, and I think Mike's going to drive the 343 Friday night at Five Flags. And then, like I said, I'm going to drive it some this year because our owner is out of town and he's got to work. So, I've got to get his new car done so he can race it. And if he gets his new car done, I may run his old car against his new car and whip him with his new ride. That'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know about 3 in one night, but I do remember somebody at the Rattler one time ran 5 classes in one weekend. That was crazy.
Bubba used to run the modifieds and the pro and the super race. So, I mean, that's a lot. He did it at the Derby a couple times.
I've seen drivers out there in local classes go and run, 2 or 3 different classes, and it all makes for, their excitement and everybody else in the stands excitement too, because it adds another element to the series.
Well, the one thing you have to do also is remember when you're climbing from a car that's faster into a car that's slower, you can't drive in the corner as hard.
Right. You'll find out quick.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine had a bomber car one time, and I'd been practicing my car, and he goes, "Hey, man, jump in mine, take a few laps, see what you think of it." I sailed it off in there like I would my sportsman car. I was like, about wrecked the damn thing. I'm like, okay, dum-dum, you're in Stock Springs. You can't run the corner so hard.
Yeah, it's all a learning lesson.
Yes, it is. It is. It's fun, though. God, racing is so much fun.
Well, guys, it's always a pleasure, to get with you every week and talk short track racing as we are short track guys in a podcast form. We will get to the blogcast with the videos coming shortly. We've got that in works. We're working some things out. Not everything happens overnight, so we'll get there. We appreciate everybody's support. You're listening. As we have said before, it is our motivation, and that's what keeps us going. And Alabama 200. And then one after another for the next month. And I can't wait. I don't know if I'm going to get sleep tonight.
Well, I'm going to spend money. I'm going to probably 3. I'm probably going 4 out of the 4. Definitely going to go to the Rattler. I'm going to the Stars race, and then I'm going to be at the ARCA race. So why not?
Yep. Now we'll see our friends from Houma. We'll have a great weekend. I'm going to miss the ASA race, but I will be there for the ARCA race. Guys, I can only say outside of the language to sign off, it's a separate 1, 2, 3 individually, and then we'll do it. Okay. How about this? I'll start with 1, 2, 3. Let's go, Brandon.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Stay strong, America.
Good night.